It's not the length of life, it's the depth. And that quote is attributed to Ralph Waldo Emerson. I really love this quote, actually. I think this is a super helpful quote on many levels, but I think it's also a bit tricky, and I'll get to that a little later on. But first, the good stuff. Why is this such a helpful quote? So many patients struggle, especially toward the end of their lives, with whether or not they should continue a treatment. And often those treatments are very harsh, they're very aggressive. And if you talk to certain clinicians, they'll tell you it's going to shorten your life, actually. Other clinicians will say, oh no, I think this will give you a month more. Often those treatments are very aggressive and they're very difficult. In those contexts, it's really helpful to focus people in on what is the quality that you're wanting to have for the time that you have left. And do you want to focus on your quality of life? And we know from the research that actually shifting away from aggressive treatment and moving towards quality of life in places like hospice and comfort care can actually lengthen life. But so often we're told, no, the way to lengthen your life is more aggressive treatment. And I think so many people think I need to keep doing this stuff to lengthen my life at all costs. Lengthen, especially if you're a young person. The younger you are, the more push to lengthen rather than focus on quality. And as Ralph Waldo Emerson was talking about, depth. However, I think it is a very difficult and tricky quote at times as well, because when you are, for example, someone who's grieving, especially a life cut too short, and even if someone lived a large, wonderful life to the ripe old age of 12, like, it's not about the depth of their life. Like, for some, of course, people are going to be thrilled that this young person had a deep, enriching life. But in that moment of grief, to tell them it's not about the length, it's about the depth, it's not the best timing for that. And I would suggest not to say it then, because it's really a difficult time. And often those parents and family members or whoever is grieving are just focused on how it was cut too short, how life was cut too short. So take this quote again with a grain of salt, be cautious with it. It's really helpful sometimes, it's really not helpful other times. So watch and always, again, listen to the person in front of you for cues as to where they are and thinking through kind of length versus depth versus quality. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you can get more content from us. And I do hope you have as good a day as you possibly can.